Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to record a overpayment from a customer in their account in your Xero system. So in this scenario we're going to actually use this one in the demo company for Jacaranda Maple Systems. So what we're going to do is we're going to assume that they had an invoice for $2,000, they paid it last week and then they've accidentally paid it again this week. So we've contacted them, told them about the overpayment, and rather than being refunded the money, they've said for us to hold on to it because we're going to be invoicing them again soon, and they can just we can apply this payment to the upcoming invoice. So what we need to do in that instance is we need to obviously mark this off as paid and process this, but we also need to put $2,000 as a credit on their system for their future invoicing. So that's what we're going to do. So first thing I'm going to do, I've got the record here. I'm going to go up to business and then I'm going to right click on invoices, left click on open a new tab, and then I've got a new tab to create this invoice, and I've also got the original bank feed tab still open so I can refer back to it. Now first things first, let's create the invoice. So it was Jacaranda. I'm just going to do Jack. There we go. Now, I always like to make sure I put the same day as the payment received on these overpayments. Due date doesn't matter, I'm just going to put 2 days ahead. Reference, I'm going to put overpayment, but you can put whatever you like there. I'm going to do the same here, overpayment. Quantity 1, I'm going to make sure I'm tax inclusive so I don't have to mess with that. $2,000. Now, when it comes to the account, it doesn't really matter which one you do as long as the credit note matches exactly, which we're going to ensure as well. But in this instance, I'm just going to put it to the suspense account because it's going to be an in and out. Suspense, pass excluded. And I'm happy with that. That all looks good. So I'm going to hit approve. So now I've created the invoice, which allows us to match up to that payment that they've done on the bank feed, so we can clear that bank feed, that transaction that's waiting to be processed. Now we have to also create the credit note to go on their account. Now you could do that manually. You can go into business, invoices, hit credit note, and you could manually retype all this, but there is a little bit of a trick that you can do. So we've got the invoice, the original invoice open right here. I'm going to go down to here, create and apply credit. And the beauty of this is it gives me all of the pre-existing data that was in the invoice is copied across, and the only thing I need to change is the date, 25/2 again. So overpayment, you can obviously change this if you want. I'm just going to keep it like this for this instance. It's $2,000, and what Xero is going to do is it's going to automatically apply this credit once we finish to the invoice, which will mean both of them have a zero balance, and we don't want that, but we're going to fix that. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to hit approve. And then it will take us back to the invoice, and you can see here the $2,000 invoice has had the credit note applied, the balance is zero. Now we don't actually want that because we want it to have a balance so that we can apply the actual payment they received, and we also want the credit note to have its $2,000 balance as well. So Xero has automatically offset themselves against each other with that quick cheat function that we've got there. But it's very easy to undo that last little allocation. So we'll just click on credit note. And if I hit the X there, it'll actually delete the allocation from the credit note to the invoice. It will just take them apart. So are you sure you want to delete this credit allocation? Yes, I do. Now we have an invoice that has a $2,000 balance, and we have a credit note that has a negative $2,000 balance. And if I go into invoices again over here, search in all for Jacaranda, and there you go, you can see that. So because I broke that allocation, we've got the invoice here and it's got a balance due at 2,000, and we've got the credit note here and it's got a balance of minus 2,000. So now we just simply apply that payment to the $2,000. That will clear that out, and it will just leave the credit note on their account. So because I've got everything open, I'll go back to here. I can simply press F5 on my Windows machine, pardon me, and there you go, it's picked up the invoice that I created. So I'll apply that. That's got rid of that. All done. That's perfect. Go back to Jacaranda, hit enter, and now you can see that there's a zero balance on the invoice. It's been paid $2,000, but we've still got a balance of $2,000 on the credit note. So the next time we invoice them, that credit can be applied to their next invoice. So let's do that. We'll open a new tab again. I'll close up these guys. I have a habit of having 500 tabs open by the end of the day. Okay, so I'm going to create, so we're a week later, Jacaranda's bought more stuff from us. So we'll just go Jacaranda, yeah, why not? And plus 7 days for the due date. Okay, purchase order 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, goods. And I'm not going to do 2,000. What I'll do is I'll do 2,500, just as an example. This time it goes to sales like it normally would. Do your regions, projects, whatever you want. So $2,500. I'm not going to approve an email because there's no one to email to in this demo company. I'm just going to hit approve. And as soon as I do, Xero is going to go, hey, you've got a $2,000 credit for this customer. Would you like to apply it now? Now you can choose to skip, so then they would have a $2,500 invoice and a $2,000 credit. It's going to mean there's a balance overall of $500 in their account, and you might want to skip that if they wanted to apply it to some other invoice that's coming up or something like that. But in this instance, they've told us that they want it applied to the next invoice we raise, which is this one, so that works out perfectly. We'll apply credit. The amount to apply is $2,000. You could split it if you wanted to for some reason. So we've applied $2,000. It's telling us that that will leave a remaining balance of $500 on the invoice, which is perfect. And there we go. So that is exactly what we want. We've got a $2,500 invoice. There was a credit note on the system. We've picked that up and applied it. There's $500 remaining. If we were to then invoice that now, email that now, you can see right here. Tells them that it was $2,500 and there's their $500 remaining because of the credit note. It all works perfectly. So yeah, that is the best way, I feel, to apply an overpayment from a customer when they actually want us to hold on to the funds because they intend to purchase something down the track that we can apply it to. I hope you found that useful. Thank you.